Hi, welcome to another tutorial. So we're going to focus on creating a website today. So you're going to be using Microsoft Word to do this, and we're going to get very creative using pictures, tables, colors, and all of those things. All right, so what you're seeing here is a website that I made using Microsoft Word. Very simple, with pictures, colors, a logo, and I have different pages I can go to. So I utilize a hyperlink, and I can click on contact and it goes to the contact page. Very simple, right? And if you notice, I maintain the same layout for each page. It's just the information that change for them. What you're seeing to your right, other three is just dummy tabs, so you won't be adding anything to those. So you open Microsoft Word. All right, so after doing that, you're going to ensure that you click blank document. So it has to be a blank one, right? Do not start your work in a document that already has work in it. So utilize a blank one. So you see your blank space right there, clean. All right, so there are several layouts for Microsoft Word. If you look at the bottom right, so I'm going to be selecting the web layout, which gives me maximum space to do whatever I want to do, insert whatever pictures, whether they're big or small, right? So after that, now I want to do a little design. So I'm just going to go to insert, and I'm going to insert one row and 4 columns, right? And I'm just going to expand that, and what I'm just going to put up here is a little color and a little information. It's optional, right? But to me, it just makes it look more interactive. It looks more real, like a true online shopping website, right? So it depends on how you want to design yours. So I'm just basically adjusting my row or my table, because I just want to put sorry, 2 separate colors there. So in that wider space, I'm going to be putting a color there. So I'm going to be basically changing the style of my table, which you're going to the design tab to do so. All right, so the style of the table, it's blue. So you see a blue line right there. So what I want to do is in my first cell, which is the biggest cell, I just want to change the color to blue. As I say, it's optional. It's just my preference, right? And then the other side, I want it to be a gray color. And remember, all these designs, you find it in the design tab as you hear the word design, right? So I'm just going to put in some information here, which, as I say, is optional. But I mean, if you want to have an idea of how a clothing website looks, you can always do some research and get your own ideas, right? So from here, I'm just putting in some text, marketplace, that has to do with business, and I'm going to put in frequent question asked, that is FUA, just in case you want to click to see what other people ask about the site or clothes or whatever it is. These texts will not be linked to anywhere. It's just for the look, just for it to appeal to your audience, because that is one of the things that your SB actually asks for. So if it appeals to your audience, then that is a plus. You get the mark for that, right? So you have to be mindful of probably like the different colors you use, text and those things. The graphics must be appropriate and all of that. So I want a shopping cart icon, right? So I'm just going to look for one. It could be an animated one, could look like a real one. It depends on you, right? So I found that image. So I just right click, and I'm going to select the option that says save image as, which is just going to create or download the picture on my computer. So once you have done so, you're going to store it somewhere. But guys, you be mindful that the folder that you'll be creating, as you see here, everything that you do or every document you create in regards to the website, it should be saved in this folder. It should not be saved all over the place, because your website will not work properly. So every image, your logo, or anything that you use should be all saved in one folder. Alright, so what I'm going to basically do now, I'm just going to insert that little icon there beside the word cart, just to make it look official. You can do so too. I'm just showing you how creative you can get. So I'm going to go to the folder that I created to get the image I downloaded. Right, so I did mine in documents. So I went back to documents website and I'm inserting it, so it will come bigger than you would have expected. So of course you can shrink the size of it as small as you possibly can, and you can move it around as well, right? So you can choose to wrap it, you can choose for it to be behind the text, right? So the layouts, you can choose it. So as you see there, I am going to select the one that says tight, so I can be able to move the image around. Or if you realize that you're having issues moving it image around, you can always choose another one to see which one works best for you. Alright, so mine was giving a bit of a problem, so guess what, I just did a copy and paste, and let's see if it worked for me. Alright, so I'm going to paste the image. So it did work for me, right? So sometimes when you realize that some things are not working, you clear or copy or paste, or you just do something else just to make it work, right? So I'm just showing you how you can truly utilize Microsoft Word to make a pretty good official looking web page. Alright, so here we go. Not to spend too long on this, what we're going to do next is to insert our logo, because of course you would have had your logo already, because it would have been at the top of your letter, in your header, and also your fillable form. So this is my logo, a very simple one. I went online and I designed it because I have free online logos. So I just did a little simple design and I just insert it right there at the top, and then beside it now all I'm going to do is to ensure that I have the name of the business, which you know is Dashy's Boutique. And of course you can ensure that you set your layout how you want it to be. So I'm just going to increase the size of my text, because you know it is the name of the store, Dashy's Boutique, so you want it to stand out, right? So choose an appropriate font size, right? So ensure that it match what it is that you intend to do. Alright, so Dashy's Boutique. So I chose a simple font style, nothing elaborate or too stylish, because you want when people come to your website they can see what you have, they can read it properly, right? So you can adjust the size as well, and yes, that's pretty much it. So your logo and the name of the business, Dashy's Boutique, right? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just create a little search bar, because when you go on an online shopping site you can search for whatever you want to buy. So I'm just going to just use a shape, a rectangular looking shape, just make it an appropriate size. I'm going to choose a style, go in the format tab, choose a style. I want a plain shape, not one with a lot of colors, right? Because when you go to a website you don't see the search bar in color most of the time. I don't think you see it any at all. Alright, so I'm just going to do a little formatting. I want it to have a little shady looking thing. You can get creative, guys, as I said before. Nothing glamor glam, but something simple. Alright, so there you go, my search bar. So in addition to that, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be adding a text. You can either add the word search or whatever the case is, it's optional. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert another shape within this shape, and it's going to be an arrow. If you can find the magnifying glass looking icon or whatever icon that represents search, then be my guest. It's up to you. But for me, I'm going to be working with an arrow. So basically when you go on the site, hypothetically, when you click on the arrow, it will just search for whatever it is that you type in, right? So that is all I'm trying to do here. Nothing great, but it will add to the uniqueness of your website. All right, so with that being said, now what we're going to do next, we are going to create our different tabs, you know, like your home tab, your contact us, and so forth, right? So you can have the word home tab. I'm going to start with something else other than what we're used to, the home tab, right? So I created 6 different cells or 6 different columns. So it's 1 row, 6 column, or 6 cells, right? So I'm going to put it in a color, a nice color, right? Nothing too bright, nothing too dull. You want it to give you a little vibe because, you know, it's a boutique, right? So with that being said, now I chose this nice color to match with whatever it is that I have, because it's a white background, right? So I'm going to start with the About Us page. So that's my first tab. Say About Us. You can choose an appropriate font style, font size, depending on your style. And in the next one, I'm going to have job vacancy, because remember, you created your fillable form, which is a job application form. So when you click on this tab, this is where you would go to download this form, so persons can fill it out and submit it if it is that they want to apply for a job, right? And then in the next one, now you're going to have contact us. Which web page does not have a contact us section? So you have to have that, right? And then after that, now I'm just simply going to have a tab, and those will be like dummy tabs. They won't necessarily work. I won't have a link for them. So I'll have women, men, baby, because, you know, it's a boutique. They sell a wide variety of clothes, right? So with that being said, now I'm going to change the color of my text. I want it to be white, because if it's black, again, such a what you call it now, it's a somewhat a dark color. It's not a very bright color. You want it to be more outstanding. So I changed my text to white so you can see much better, right? So there you go, and I'm going to center them. There you go. Very simple. So what we're going to do next, now we are going to create one cell, nothing big, and we're going to expand that one cell, that one row right there. You can use a shape if necessary. You can use a picture if you wish. It depends on your style. As I said, it's just showing you how you can be creative with what you're doing, right? So I just inserted just a simple row for a table right there, and I'm expanding it because I'm going to be adding some information here. So I'm aligning it to what I had done previously, right? So in this now, I will be putting some information. I will be putting also pictures, like a sale sign, because, you know, you want persons to come to your boutique to shop, right? So with that being said, now I'm going to be inserting some images, right? And remember, any image that you use should be saved in the same folder along with every other files associated with the web page. So what I'm doing here, I'm just creating a for sale, you know, 50% off everything banner. Basically, I use a shape. You can opt to use an image. It depends on you, as I said. So, you know, I just put it in a nice bright color, nice orange. As I say, you can use any colors that you want, once it doesn't make the page look overcrowded and has too much color going on there, because you want everything to be visible and clear to your audience, right? So I have here 50% off everything. So of course, when you have a sign like this, you want to make it big and bold so everyone can see it. So all I did was to just make my font size big, right? And I'm going to bold it, right? And I'm going to change the font style just to make it look attractive, right? So when you see it, you immediately want to shop on this website, right? So I'm just here adjusting the size so it can hold in the same line. So there we go, 50% of everything, simple text, right? And then the next thing that we want to do now, we want to insert some images, you know, it's showing clothes and those things, right? So I already saved some images in the same folder, so I'm just going to insert them, and they may come bigger, as I said before, than you'd have expected. So you just adjust the size. If you want it big or if you want it small, no problem. You can wrap it to ensure you can wrap it, or allow the what you call it now, the picture to be behind the text, or however it is. You can crop it if you don't want to see certain writings from the pictures, because you're taking it from the internet, so you may have some of the things on it that you don't want to see. Right, so all I'm doing is adjusting the size of my picture. There you go. And then beside it now, I am going to be putting another image on the other side, the right side of it. So I'm going to go in the same folder, insert picture, and I'm going to go for the other image. So I'm going to click it, then insert. Alright, so you realize this one is very big, so all I'm just going to do is shrink the size of it so it can fit right beside the one I have above. Alright, so as I said before, I'm just going to adjust it. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Alright, so I'm going to adjust the layout as well. Can make it, the layout be through, so it can match right beside the other one that I have. Alright, so it provides a lot of flexibility. Alright, so that's all I'm doing. That's all. So with that being said now, so this first page here is our about page. So basically going to just at the bottom, yours can be at the top, it can be somewhere else, it doesn't have to be the same place where mine is, but this is where I'm putting mine, right? So about us, you can change the font size and style to whichever one you want. Alright, so now I'm going to just put some information, just a very short paragraph about Dashy's boutique, and there you go, just to see that the business is at XYZ and what do we offer and so forth, and that's pretty much it. Alright, it's a closed store, so it shouldn't have a long bit of information, right? And a piece of the description is also on your SBA. If you look at the top, it will tell you about Dashy Boutique. It's the same information I used here, right? So with that being said, now I'm just going to add a few little bit more information to the bottom of my web page. And as you know, guys, a web page is a single page. Website is more than one, right? So I had another image that I'm going to insert. And I'm just going to insert that at the bottom right there to say you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and what you can use to purchase from us, the type of card, Visa card, debit card, and all of those things, you know, just to make it look official, right? I'm going to put a little copyright, you know, copyright 2021 Dashy Boutique, because you know every website has information like that. So yeah, just add it, just add it, right? Alright, so that's all we're doing right here. And just so you know, we're maintaining the same template right throughout. So we're going to have a total of 3 pages, and in the SBA it said that you can either have a link to another website or a link within the website. So what I want is link within the website, so that's why I'll be creating more than one page, right? So there we go. Our first page here is the About Us page, right? So we're actually going to go ahead and create our second page, which is our job vacancy page. So we're going to do a save as, right? So ensure that you save the current work that you have. You're going to save it in the same folder you created before. Remember, the same folder, so ensure that you search for it. All right, so here's my folder. most importantly, ensure you name your file. You can name your file About Us or Home Page, whichever one, but the save as type should be web page, right? So it should be a .htm or HTML file. So ensure you change the save as type, right? Ensure you're saving it in the correct folder, guys, and you click save, right? So your first page is done and you save that. So in order to create the second page, what you're going to do next is to do a save as. So you're using the same template going straight across, right? So here's what we're going to do next. We go to File, then we go to Save As, so you don't create the web page over and over again. You maintain the same template. So you save as, ensure you're going to save it in the same folder, right? In the same folder. Alright, so I already have my folder in the current section, so I just click it and I'm going to rename this now, and I am going to call it Job Vacancy. So this is our second page. So when you do a save as, you're just basically making a copy of the web page you had before and you're saving it as another name, right? So we're going to name our file. So ensure the save as type is web page. It's .htm. So you already see that we have the one above it, marketplace. That's what I saved my first page as. You can save yours as home or about, right? So basically now we're going to make some changes because this is a job vacancy section, right? So we want to ensure that the name of the page matches the information on the web page. So what I'm gonna do now, I don't want some of the information that is there to be on it, so I'm going to delete some information. So I took off that image that I had. The image below I'm going to keep, but I don't want the About Us, so I'm just going to delete that. So those are the only things I will take away from my web page. Everything remains the same. The template remains the same, right? So I'm just going to get, some jobs to say, okay, we have some jobs available. So you can go on the internet and find, go on Glean or whatever the case is and get some job description, and you can put it there. So I already have one in a picture format, so I'm just going to paste it or insert it right above the photos I have there. So there you go. I just have two jobs, for example, Dashy boutique, a sales job, and another job available. So as I say, it's optional. You can have one or you can have none, depending. Alright, so sometimes you may realize that your pictures may go all over the place, so just make the adjustment, put it back where it should. Alright, so remember, in your web page you should have a section where you can download the application form. So alright, so all I'm going to do, beside the image I have with the jobs, I'm going to put apply here. And I don't want them to click on the words. I want my web page to be a bit different, right? I'm going to put an image below it to say click here to download, because when you go on certain website, you can click on an icon or image or something to download a particular file. So I'm going to insert an image, which later on down in the video you will see how I utilize it to create a hyperlink or hyperlink the form to, or link the form to this image. So when you click on the image, it will automatically download the file, right? So there you go. I have my image. Download an application form. So when you click it, it will just download right away. So we're not going to create the links as yet, but soon, right? So this is where we would go to find the form to link it. Alright, so look in here, we have an application form, so we just linked it. So what you should do, or what I did, was to just right click on link, look for the file and select it, and that's it right there. Alright, so that's pretty much it for our job vacancy. You can make some adjustments if you don't want too much space or white space on your web page, just for it to look very neat and tidy. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is to create our about us page, right? Sorry, contact us page. So the same thing you do your save as. Ensure you're saving it in the same folder, and you're going to rename this and you're going to call it contact us. Ensure that the save as type is HTML, it's web page HTML. So contact us, right? So there we go, contact us. Then you click save, and once you save that, remember you're maintaining the same template, so we don't need job vacancies in our contact us section, so we delete that information there, right? So we maintain the same template. There you go. So all I want now is to just, do a little bit of design for my contact us. So I'm just going to put as image, like with cell phone and letter and Twitter or whatever the case is. Alright, so my image is here. Wow, it came very, very big. So all I'm going to do is just to shrink the size, because I don't want it that big on my page. So I'm going to shrink it as small as I possibly can to get it fit into one corner, right? So it's not that difficult. So here we go, I'm just shrinking it to get it as small as possible. Alright, so it's getting smaller. Alright, good. Alright, so you can move it around if you wish. Alright, so there, that is where I want it to be. Alright, so you can change the layout just to ensure that it fits at a specific place where you want it to fit. Alright, you can go into design. You can change the design of the picture if you want. If you want it to have no outline, flat on the page, depends on you. Alright, so I want 2 copies of this. I want to make another copy of this. So I want 2 of them on this page. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. And the second copy I'm going to put to the right side. As I say, it's just creativity, it's optional, right? And then now in the middle of these 2 images, I'm going to have the information about contact us, right? So there we go. So I'm just making some changes right here. All right, so you can rotate your image depending on what you want for your web page. So in this middle section, I'm going to be putting some information. So I'm just making a few little tweaks, right? So I want it to be seen. Good. All right, here we go. So in the middle section, we're just going to add the contact us information. There you go. And that was quickly done. All right, so just a simple thing. We would like to hear from you. You put the address, phone number, email, website, and opening hours, and any other information that you think would be necessary for a contact us page, right? So you realize that some of my images were, a bit far down, so I just reduce the space so it can stay in line. All right, so it's very short, it's not long, it's not full of a lot of images. All right, so we already created our 3 pages, so ensure that you save as you go along. Guys, at this stage you don't want to be losing your work, so it's important to save it in the cloud if you must. Very important, right? Because time is very short. So with that being said, now we created all 3 pages and everything was saved in one folder. And if you realize that we have subfolders in that folder, so each page, everything that you use on the page, each page is saved in this folder specific to them, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open it in the browser to see if it works how I wanted it to work. But sometimes when you create your website in Microsoft Word, Sometimes the shapes may not be where you want it to be, and sometimes things may go all over the place. So we're just going to check to ensure that everything is done how we want it, right? So we're going to try and open it in Chrome or whichever browser you have, right? So we're opening all the pages first. And remember guys, if you want to edit, you have to open it back in Word. You can't edit it from the browser. You have to open it back in Word. So as you edit in Microsoft Word, when you make a change, if it is open in your browser, you can just refresh and you'll see the changes that you made in your browser, right? So I opened all my pages. So what I want to do now is to link all of them, right? So I'm going to highlight about, and then I'm going to go to link, and then I'm going to link the about page back to itself, which is marketplace. That's what I saved it as. Then you click OK. So you link it back to itself. So when you click on it, it should just stay on the about page. So right now we're in the marketplace page, right? So on the marketplace page, which is my home page, right? I'm going to highlight the job vacancy, go to link, right click on link, and I'm going to link it to my job vacancy page. Then I click OK, right? Ensure that you're in the current folder that has everything, then you click OK. And then now for contact us, I'm going to do the same. Highlight, right click, go to link. All right, there you go, go to link, and then we're going to link this to our contact us page, and then you click OK. So remember guys, we're currently on our about us page and we hyperlinked all of them. Alright, so when we click on either one, we should be able to move about. So now we're going to go on the other page. We're not going to hyperlink the section that says women and men and baby. We're just going to leave that as is. So we're going to do the job vacancy section next. So we go to the job vacancy. Yes, the job vacancy page, and we do the same thing all over again. So on the about, you link it to the about page, right? Which for me is marketplace. And then you go to job vacancy, you link it back to itself. So you link it to job vacancy, right? Job vacancy. Ensure you're linking it to the right pages. And then you go to contact us, and then you link it to contact us, right? There we go. Now let's search for contact us. There we go. And then we click OK. And see, we created the hyperlinks for job vacancy page. So we're through with that now, right? So I don't want my text to remain blue, so I'm just going to change it back to white. It's optional, you can let it remain, but it's just my preference, right? Good. So we created the links for the job vacancy page. Ensure that you save as you go along. Right, so now we're going to go on the contact us page, and we're going to do the same thing. Same link about us to about us. That's what you would call yours. There you go. Remember, I call mine marketplace, so don't let it confuse you. And I'm going to link job vacancy to job vacancy. There you go. All right, click on that, then OK, and then you link contact us to contact us. So it doesn't matter which page you are on, you are able to go back and forth with ease, right? Just like when you're on any other website, you can click on any tab, home tab, contact us tab, this tab, that tab, and you're able to move around the website easily. So that's what we just did right here. All right, so there, and then ensure that you save as you go along, guys. there and then we want to ensure that everything works accordingly, as I was mentioning before. So I'm going to open it in our browser, right? So I'm going to open it in Google Chrome, as well as I could open it in Firefox or any one of those that you have available to you. So if you notice, I had a little issue here, right? So what I want to do is make some changes. It did not turn out how I wanted it to be, right? So obviously some colors are where it should not be, and that needs to be changed. So basically I'm just going to go back in Microsoft Word on my About Us page, and clearly it is seeing a background that I'm not seeing. So all I'm going to do is just make some changes. All I'm going to do is make some changes. Alright, so I'm going to click on it again just to test to see if it's working, because you may encounter things like these, right? Alright, so I'm testing it in another browser just to see if it is the same issue. Alright, so it's not the same issue, it's something different. So basically all I did was to change the color, delete whatever colors I have there, change it back just to see if it will work, right? And move around some images and see if it works. Sometimes you have to use images instead of shapes because the shapes may not show up. So I made some changes, and there you go, it is good to go now, right? So everything is in place, everything is set how it should be, right? So yes, so when you meet upon these little glitches, don't be discouraged, right? Just work around it. Turn your shapes into pictures, crop it, and work around it. So there you go. So that is also, you see I'm clicking on Contact Us page and it went to the Contact Us page. See, maintaining the same template. Alright, and then yes, so if you realize it has a URL, and that's a contact page, right? And if I click on the About, it brings me back to the first page. Click on Job Description, it brings me back there. So that's why we created a hyperlink on each page. So on whichever page we are, we can move back and forth with ease. Look at that. Good. Right, so remember we linked this image to your application form. So when you click on the image, it should download your application form. Right, so remember when you're linking it, you right click, you go to link, and you select the form, which would be in Microsoft Word document. Right, so and that is pretty much it. Ensure that you save your work, and do your best. All right, so all the best, and ensure that you be creative, do the best you can.